I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, and welcome to our podcast, For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to our podcasts, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Discuss this information with your own physician or healthcare provider to determine what is right for you.
Are you suffering needlessly? Dr. Joe can give you advice on how to naturally get well and stay well. Dr. Joe Esposito.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Today we're going to be talking about electromagnetic frequencies. Now these are electrical currents that travel all around us. Now they can come from things like electrical wires, from cell phones, from microwaves. Even the earth itself creates electromagnetic frequencies. Now the more exposure we get, the greater risk there is to our health. Now in fact, many health issues that you have and can't be explained on what's causing them might be due to electromagnetic frequencies. This is something that's interesting. Now, I've been in practice for a long time now. And patients come to us all the time and they say, Doc, I've been to all these different doctors. I can't figure out what's wrong. Now, as chiropractors, we always look at the nervous system, we look at the digestive system, and we look at their diet. And we say, okay, what's going on here? In most cases, major majority of cases, we solve the problems that way. Now, every now and then, we have a patient coming in and they should be doing better, but they're not. And so my doctors and I will sit down, we'll have a conference. And one of the things we always say is, are they wearing anything electrical? So for example, a watch or these new bracelets that you can wear that monitor your health. And we can test you for that. And it's really kind of cool. What we do is we'll push against any of your muscles without the electromagnetic frequency device on. Then we'll put the device on and test your muscles again. And if the muscles go weak, that usually is an indication that they're having a reaction to the electromagnetic frequencies. And then we'll say, okay, stop wearing the watch, stop carrying your cell phone so close to your body. And then in most cases, we get them past the hump. We see the changes. So when most people can't figure out their diagnosis, chiropractic, digestive work, and nutrition solves the problem. When we're still stuck, this is the next level that we go to. So what we're giving you today is really advanced postgraduate information. And these are the things I teach to other doctors on how to diagnose their patients. So you're going to get that today as part of the show. However, we're starting a new segment today. We're going to do this first. It's a new segment on Dr. Joe Show. It's called Dr. Joe Head to Toe. Now, in this segment, we talk about different parts of the body, how they work, and the things that you can do to get them working more efficiently. Now, today we start at the top of your head with your hair. Now, you're going to be amazed at all the things your hair can tell us about your health. There are many ways to assess nutritional evaluation, including symptom questionnaires. We use those in our office. Iridology. Iridology is checking the eyes, because the philosophy behind iridology is that you can look at the eyes and different parts of the iris have different correlations to different parts of the body. And if the iris isn't right, that part of the body isn't right. There's kinesiology. We use applied kinesiology in our office all the time. Diet sheets, computer analysis, blood tests. But most people don't think about testing their hair. Now, there are a lot of reasons to use your hair. First reason, nutritional physiology takes place at the cellular level. So what that means is when you put nutrition in your body, it happens in the cells, not in the blood, not any other location. It happens in the cells. What you eat is not as important as what's reaching your body cells. I always say if it's not what you ingest, it's what you digest. So tissue mineral analysis is unique is that it's inexpensive and it provides information directly about cellular activity, the main site of nutrition metabolism. So in a hair analysis, we can actually measure the cells in the hair and determine things that are linked or malfunctions that are linked to the cellular metabolism. Now, there are many ways to assess nutritional, we talked about that earlier, ways to look at how to assess these things. But the hair analysis is really kind of cool because it's a simple thing to do. What we do is we just take a little clip of the hair and we can actually measure it. And when we measure, we can weigh it actually. We give you a little paper scale. You can do it at home too. If you want to come to our office, we can do it at the office. But if you ever want to do it at home, we can send you the kit. You can do the sample and send it back to us. And when you send it back to us, we can then send it into the lab and get analysis done. Real simple, real easy. And you only have to use a little bit of hair. So you can take it from the base of your skull. If you're shaved head or you're bald, you can use any hair on the body. It works just as well. Now, the next reason to detect toxic metals are a serious problem today because toxic metals are everywhere. We can get them in vaccines. We can get them in air pollution. We can get them in aluminum cans. So heavy metal toxicity is a big issue. And it's another one of those things that many times doctors can't figure out. Doc, I've got the neurology, I've got the neuropathy, I've got the headaches, I've got the foggy brain, I'm tired all the time, my immune system is weak. Well, we've tried every test. We can't figure out what it is. Then we can go to a hair analysis, or actually we can start with the hair analysis and find out what's going on. So heavy metal toxicity contributes to many metabolic disorders and a lot of distressing symptoms, things like fatigue, infections, cancer, diabetes. So routine blood tests cannot detect chronic heavy metal poisoning. The tissue mineral analysis, the hair analysis, is one of the few methods approved by the Environmental Protection Agency for detecting toxic metals in the body. And when toxic metals get into the body, they can short circuit the nervous system. I'm a chiropractor. And so we're talking about electromagnetic frequencies. We're talking about short circuiting the body. So we're always looking at the nervous system. And if you have heavy metal toxicity built up in the brain or in the spinal cord, that can cause essentially short circuits of the nervous system. So emotions, biochemical imbalances can contribute to many mental and emotional conditions. I know of no other tool that comes close to the tissue mineral testing to predict, explain, and suggest different nutritional solutions. Things can be related to anxiety, depression, hyperactivity, phobias, insomnia. Again, we don't want to jump to conclusions, but we can take a hair analysis and say, okay, you know what? We have a nutritional imbalance. Then we got to dig further. Why do we have the nutritional imbalance? Is it your diet? Do you not have proper digestion? How many of you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating? Raise your hands. Those are signs that are telling you something's wrong. You don't want to ignore that. Now, you can take medication to cover it up, and the medication works very well to cover up the symptoms, but it doesn't get to the cause. And in many cases, acid reflux, heartburn, diarrhea, gas, bloating, the stomach is spasmed and pushed up against the diaphragm. So in our offices, I've trained all my doctors to adjust or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. And when you do that, it's amazing. I tell you, people want to name their kids after us. I always joke about that. Because when you fix the digestive system, now you're breaking proteins into amino acids, and amino acids get absorbed in the small intestine, and amino acids produce neurotransmitters in the brain. And so now the brain is able to work properly, and you're able to absorb your nutrients. But on this hair analysis, we can determine if you're not absorbing your nutrients properly, and then we dig a little deeper. Another reason to use hair is the body's energy mechanism. Having enough energy is essential for health. Now, all body activities, including healing, depend on adequate energy synthesis. You have to be able to make energy. Tissue mineral analysis can be used to assess the efficiency of the energy system in the body, including things like glycolysis, citric acid cycles. And we recommend nutrients then that are going to assist in rebuilding the energy systems. Determining oxidation types. There's a fellow named Dr. George Watson, and he discovered that some people burn food at a more rapid rate than normal. Some are slower rate. Now, I'm a slow metabolizer. I've had my hair analysis done. I'm a slow metabolizer. So I know what I have to do to keep my body working. Knowing an oxidation rate, as he called it, can decide which foods are most needed, which nutrients are going to be most helpful to balance the body. And giving the wrong nutrients can make the problems actually worse. So tissue mineral analysis can be utilized to determine your oxidation rate with mechanical precision. We can determine, are you a fast metabolizer, slow metabolizer, and then what to do. Assessing organ, gland, and tissue function. Levels and ratios of tissue minerals in relation to activity specific to organs and glands. So different organs and glands have different metabolism, different activity. So by calculating the ratios on a tissue mineral test, a hair analysis, the function of major glands and organs can be assessed, often long before abnormalities appear on things like blood work. Monitoring process. This is another good thing we can do with a hair analysis. A common problem with nutritional therapy is determining if someone's actually improving. Now, in our office, we use system surveys and food analysis, and we look at the symptoms, but this is another way we can analyze it. If someone has persistent symptoms or new symptoms, you can repeat the hair analysis, and a comparison can be done, and then answers can be figured out as to whether improvement is occurring, why some of the symptoms are persistent, what you need to do about it. And it's a little better for some reasons over blood tests, because blood tests will always give you the value to determine things like cholesterol, hemoglobin, and a lot of other parameters. However, blood tests are not capable of providing the information provided by hair analysis. There are several reasons why. Mineral levels in the blood are 10 times less than that in the tissues. So that can make the measurement difficult. Also, blood levels are kept within a very narrow limits for the body for various reasons. You have to stay alive. But with a tissue analysis, you can figure out different problems. Blood tests are subject to daily fluctuation due to what the person is eating, previous day's emotional status. Hair analysis does not vary day to day. It's long term. So again, we're talking about head to toe with Dr. Joe, and we're talking about starting out with hair analysis, and then we're going to go into our show today, the main topic, which is electromagnetic frequencies. So understanding the difference can avoid a lot of confusion between long-term readings that can be a definite advantage. You can look at it and say, this is a definite comparison. You can do a hair analysis at your office. We can send you the kit if you'd like. You might be surprised what you're going to find out. So if you want to find out more about this, call our office. The number is 844-44-Dr. Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. You can ask for Kayla. She's in charge of that department. Or you can go to our website, drjoe.com, send us an email, or you can send us messages that way. And Kayla can give you all the details on how to do a hair analysis. Relatively inexpensive, amazing information that you get. Now, thank you for bearing with me on that. We're going to talk about our main topic today, and that's about electromagnetic frequencies. Now, exposure to things like microwaves, cell phones, can cause massive mitochondrial dysfunction due to the damage done by free radicals, something called peroxynitrate, that also cause single and double strand breaks in your DNA. All right, that's a lot of fancy words. What does that mean? When you're exposed to electromagnetic frequencies, it can create something called free radicals. Free radicals are like Pac-Man. They eat through things, waka, 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 and they're eating through things. And so when you expose yourself to electromagnetic frequencies, I'm going to explain how this happens. These free radicals occur and they can attack the DNA. Now, the DNA is the part of your cell that is you. Everyone's DNA is unique, and it tells your body to do what your body's supposed to do. When you damage the DNA, now when the cells replicate, they can create abnormal cells. And that's very, very scary. So it's been known forever that free radical damage is very serious to the DNA. And now we're finding out that electromagnetic frequency can create this. Now, excessive free radicals triggered by low frequency microwave exposure from things like cell phones, Wi-Fi networks, have been linked to chronic disease such as cardiac arrhythmia, anxiety, depression, autism, Alzheimer's, even infertility. Now, I've often noted that electromagnetic fields are the hidden health risk. That's what we're talking about today. When you can't figure out the problem, let's dig a little deeper. But exactly how does this kind of microwave radiation damage your health? There's a fellow named Martin Pall, he's a PhD, and he identified and published research describing the likely molecular mechanisms on how electromagnetic frequencies from cell phones and wireless technologies damage plants, animals, and humans. One way electromagnetic frequency cause damage is by activating what is called the voltage-gated calcium channels. So the voltage-gated calcium channels are where it's in the cell and it opens up and allows calcium to come into the cell. Little bit of calcium, very important. Too much calcium, very dangerous. Now, these channels are in the outer membrane of the cell, and the plasma membrane that surrounds all of our cells, that's where they come in. And when they're activated, they open up and allow calcium to flow into the cell. It's the excess calcium that's causing the problem. And when you expose a cell to electromagnetic frequencies, there's an increased intracellular calcium. Now, for the past 25 years, the industry has claimed that, this is the key here, non-ionizing radiation is harmless, and the only radiation worth worrying about is ionizing radiation. Dr. Paul's research clearly proves that this assumption is wrong. When your cell membranes are exposed to electromagnetic frequencies, they open up. That allows abnormally large volumes of calcium ions into the cells, about 1 million ions per second per channel. It's a lot of ions. The industry claims it can't possibly cause any harm. And you're actually talking, if you're talking about that topic, that's a premature assumption. They work by activating the calcium absorption sites. This turns out to be absolutely critical because when there's excess calcium in the cell, a number of things happen. Not only do you get excess calcium signaling, because calcium is part of the signaling mechanism, you also get increased nitric oxide. Now, if you listened to my shows before, you've heard me talk about nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is very good. One of our supplements on our website, drjoe.com, is nitric oxide support. And it creates nitric oxide in the body. Nitric oxide opens up your blood vessels and allows good circulation to your brain, to your reproductive organs. If you get where I'm going with that one, a lot of folks have circulatory issues, and this helps tremendously. And so people are excited about nitric oxide, but when there's too much nitric oxide, that's when you have the problem. So when I talk about supplements, nitric oxide, I take it on a daily basis. It helps my brain work better, it helps my whole body work better. I also take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Now, these are two powders. They taste great. Now, I take a scoop of each. I mix it with coconut milk, almond milk. Some folks say, well, Doc, I want to try it a different way. Take some frozen banana, half a frozen banana, and throw it in there and whip it up. Some frozen berries, make a smoothie out of it. It's the minimum amount of nutrients your body needs every day. And what we're going to talk about toward the end of the show is when your body is exposed to these toxic electromagnetic frequencies, what can you do about it? You can't hide from Wi-Fi. You can't hide from cell phones. So if you keep your body healthy, you're going to have less likelihood to create these free radicals and a lot less damage. The other thing we have to look at when it comes to this is it can affect the nervous system. Now, as a chiropractor, my team of doctors were always looking at the nervous system. If a bone is out of place pinching a nerve, that might cause pain. But 90% of the nerves don't feel pain. So you can have a pinched nerve and not know it. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, you already have a compromised body because you have pinched nerves. You can also have pinched nerves and not know it. So if you'd like to come see us, if you have any of these problems, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, if you've ever been in a car accident ever, come see us. Stop suffering needlessly. The biggest complaint I get in my office is, why didn't I do this sooner? So go to my website right now, drjoe.com. Make an appointment to come see us. We can do the hair analysis. We can talk about that. We can do nutrition analysis. We can check your digestive system. And most importantly, we can check the nervous system. So stop suffering. We work with most major insurance companies. We try to match the benefits the best we can. Go to my website, drjoe.com. You can set up an appointment right now. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. So we're talking now about electromagnetic frequencies, how it can affect the nervous system, because that's something as chiropractors we worry about. Now, many beneficial health effects can happen if the body's healthy. Massively excessive nitric oxide reacts with superoxide. Now, we're getting a little chemical here now. So if you have enough nitric oxide, good. Too much of it reacts with superoxide. Now, superoxide levels also rise in response to increased intracellular calcium. So when you have too much calcium, because the electromagnetic frequencies opened up the calcium channels, let calcium in, superoxide is produced, they form peroxynitrate, which is an extremely potent oxidant suppressor. Well, not a free radical, really. Peroxynitrates break down to form free radicals, and both reactive nitrogen species and reactive oxygen species, including what's called hydroxyl free radicals, can get into the body. So the electromagnetic frequency doesn't necessarily cause the problem. What the electromagnetic frequency does, it opens up the calcium channels, dumps calcium into the body. That then, with nitric oxide, can react with peroxidase and now can cause some real serious free radical damage. So it's not a direct reaction, it's an indirect reaction. Now, it's important to have nitric oxide in the body, but it's also important to have good nutrients. Now, people ask me, Dr. Joe, what can we do for nitric oxide? If you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, chances are you have the nitrates to produce nitric oxide. Healthy levels, not excessive levels. Beets are high in nitrates. Arugula, very high in nitric oxide. High fructose corn syrup, this is important you understand this. When you eat high fructose corn syrup, when it's broken down in the liver, creates something called uric acid. Uric acid lowers your nitric oxide levels. So if you have high fructose corn syrup intake and you have electromagnetic frequencies coming into the body, you have very serious health issues. So once again, it's a lot of things we have to look at when it comes to health. Every day, I get messages on my website, and they say, Dr. Joe, tell me what pill I can take to lower my cholesterol. It's not that easy. You have to change your diet. You got to get the liver healthy. You got to make sure you have all the enzymes properly working in the body. So it's not a thing. It's a many things. And so if you keep healthy levels of nitric oxide, very important. If you have the electromagnetic frequency getting into the body, that can cause big problems. So now we got something that's a little more than just, hey, what pill can I take? The highest density of cell membrane is found in the nervous system where it's going to affect the calcium channels. Now, studies dating back to the 50s and the 60s show the nervous system is the organ most sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. So this is what I was building up to. As a chiropractor, my team of doctors and I, we work to get the nervous system working the best it possibly can. So if you have the neck pain, the back pain, the shoulder pain, we can give you chiropractic care. And in most cases, people just are amazed by it. And they say, why didn't I do this sooner? This is amazing. The whole world should be doing this. And that's what's so cool about chiropractic. And that's why I'm a chiropractor. However, if you're damaging the cells on a chemical level or electromagnetic frequency level, now we have to also address that with you. Because we want to get the best results we possibly can for you. We want to get you well as fast as possible for the least amount of money. And I'm assuming that's what your goal is too. But I'll tell people, listen, I see that you have right hip pain and you carry your cell phone in your right back pocket. I want you to stop doing that. And when they do, many times they'll say, well, doc, you know what? My hip is starting to feel better. We're going to talk about carrying a cell phone. Women, if you carry it in your bra, men in your vest pocket. Not a good idea because the nervous system is very reactive to electromagnetic frequencies, but so is the heart. And so we got to be careful where we carry our phone. Isn't that wild? Not just carrying it, but where we carry it. So the nervous system, very sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. And if we're giving you the best chiropractic care in the world, and you're eating a good diet, you're taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, you're eating fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds, and you're just so happy, but you're still not getting all the results you want, it could be electromagnetic frequencies. Now, some of the studies show massive changes in the structure of the neurons, including things like cell death, synaptic dysfunction. What's a synaptic dysfunction? The nerves are not straight wires. They have little gaps in them called synapses. And what that does, it speeds up the flow of the electrical impulses. So with a synapse, the nerve, it jumps through the synapse and travels faster. So if you mess with the synapse, when the nerve impulse is jumping from one nerve to another in this little gap in here, the synapse, and it's malfunctioning, the message may not get to the other side properly. So calcium absorption sites are activated in the brain, and they release something called neurotransmitters and neuroendocrine hormones. So consequences of chronic electromagnetic frequency exposure to the brain can lead to things like anxiety, depression, autism, Alzheimer's. May not cause it, but certainly could aggravate it. It's the same thing that everybody's complaining about. I'm tired all the time. I can't sleep. I can't concentrate. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. My memory doesn't work. Sound like you? So many times that's what's happening. So a couple of things, I'm going to jump ahead now because I want to give you some teasers here. That's what we're going to talk about. What do you do about it? Well, it's very important to keep the body healthy. We're going to talk about magnesium intake in a little bit because magnesium intake can help balance out that calcium imbalance. Magnesium is going to be important. Where do you get magnesium from? Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Great sources. You got to make sure that you're staying away from your electromagnetic frequencies. Again, sometimes I run out of time at the end, so I want to cover this now. What I do, I have Wi-Fi in my house, but I have a timer, and I bought this timer. It's for Christmas tree lights. It costs $8. And I plug my Wi-Fi into the timer, and I shut it off about 10 o'clock at night, and then I automatically timer kicks it back on at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm not sleeping with electromagnetic frequency Wi-Fi all around me. If you have a cell phone, how many people have a cell phone? Raise your hands. I'm assuming you have cell phones. I want you to get it away from your bed. I take my cell phone, I put it in my other room, far away from my bed. And it's on top of a closet. And so when I go to sleep at night, if it's my alarm, I hear the alarm. It's not too far away to hear the alarm, but it's not next to my body. And I'm fascinated when I tell people something as simple as take your cell phone, don't put it under your pillow, put it far away from your bed. And they'll come back and say, Dr. Joe, I'm sleeping better. Because the electromagnetic frequency can affect the heart, can affect the nervous system. Not a good idea. Okay, why not move it far away? It's not that big a deal. Now, if you have to, surf your phone, we've done shows already on sleep. It's not a good idea because the blue light from the screens can affect your sleep patterns. So do your surfing if you have to. Put it far away from your bed. Go to sleep. Let the alarm wake you up. And I shut off the Wi-Fi as well. Some people are so sensitive, we have to actually shut off the electricity in their house. We have a breaker that will push the breaker and shut off the electricity in their house so they're not even getting electromagnetic frequencies from the walls. Where you put your bed might have a bearing on your health. So if you have trouble sleeping, if you have neck pain and back pain, you're not getting better like you're supposed to, even though you're outpatients, which most patients do get better, move your bed to the center of the room. Sound strange? Yeah, so what? Who's going to see it? See if you sleep better. Maybe put it on a different wall because there might be wires in one wall that are affecting you. Put it on another wall. And you know what? If it doesn't work, so what? There's no cost in moving your bed. There's no cost in changing the direction that you're sleeping in. There's no cost to you moving your cell phone far away from your body. There's no cost putting $8 cost, I'm sorry, for a timer to shut off your Wi-Fi so you don't sleep with the Wi-Fi on all night. So let's assume none of this works. So what? Didn't work, so what? But if it does work, and it usually does, it's pretty amazing. And that's why you have to get the nervous system right. You got to get the chemistry right. We're talking about calcium dumping into the body, creating these free radicals, which can cause damage to the body. How do you fight free radicals? You take antioxidants. Antioxidants neutralize free radicals. Best source of free radicals you can get? Well, food, electromagnetic frequency, stress. What's the best source of antioxidants? I take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source every day. You should too. I get the question all the time, it's safe for kids. If you can eat solid food, you can eat this because it's a whole food supplement. It's not broken down. It's not artificial. It's a whole food supplement. So the supplements are on our website, drjoe.com. We have over 1,000 hours of podcasts on our website, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment to come see us in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge, we would love to be your doctors. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, for you, your friends, your family, your children, go to the website right now, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment online, or you can call us if you have questions, 844-44-DR-JOE. And on the website, we have a blog as well. We have a lot of information on the blog. And if you have questions, send me questions through the website. I'm more than happy to answer your questions because my team of doctors and I have one goal. We want to naturally get you well and keep you well. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening to For the Health of It. Remember to subscribe to this podcast, and I'll help you naturally get well and stay well. You can also listen to and call into my radio show live Sunday evenings from 7 to 9 Eastern Time on WSBRadio.com and on a WSB Radio app.